Hello, hello. How is everybody tonight? It's a beautiful evening, perfect for grilling. So, welcome. We're going to talk some chicken tonight. Wait just a minute or two, and then we'll jump right in. We have one beer left in the house currently. Shh. Don't tell my assistant. I'll share. Mm. Hello, how are you? What?
Are you drinking my beer?
No, I'm not drinking.
Yes, you are.
No, there's plenty for you. I shared. You can top off yours. Go ahead. All you have to do is go in front of the camera.
Sorry, everyone. I was making egg noodles.
Come on, grab your beer.
So I'm a little late today.
Mm.
Hi.
Cheers.
Cheers.
So tonight we talk chicken. We've messed with the whole roasted chicken, so we're not going to talk about whole roasted chicken, and we probably most never will talk about boneless, skinless chicken breasts. So tonight we're going to talk chicken wings, we're going to talk chicken thighs, and we're going to talk ground chicken. And show you guys a few different cooking methods and all that good stuff. So welcome. This is our live grilling classes, our live online grilling classes. I started these. I'm working for tips because I want to support my team while they're not able to work. So if you find any of this information of any use to you, please hit us up in our Venmo account. Every dollar goes right to our team, so I really appreciate it.
Did you already apologize for our very hardworking neighbor?
Yeah, the very hardworking neighbor. No, we're all right. It'll be a constant noise, so it'll never change. So it'll be okay. Also, shout outs for this time around. Of course, hashtag Books Connect Us. Our friends at Penguin Random House, DK Publishing, our publishers for our cookbook. They've got promotion, just trying to keep everyone connected, and most of us are connected through books in some way. So just check it out next time you're on Instagram, hashtag Books Connect Us. Also, Downtown Indy, thank you guys very much for all of your support. Thank you for the shout outs. Really appreciate it. Our subscription list has, I think, quadrupled since we actually started doing these live videos, so that's fun. And then, of course, Samantha and Nick Smock, thank you guys very much for your support. Season ticket holders, supporters of Chef JJ, so we really, really appreciate your ongoing support. And cheers to you guys. All right, let's talk chicken. So a few different things. I've got something that we most of the time don't have in our classes, and that's got a little portable side burner. So we're going to make a couple little sauces and things like that, so it'll be useful. And then I've done a little bit of the head work. I threw on some chicken wings ahead of time just because I want to roast them. It's kind of the first step to my chicken wings. And I also threw on some poblano peppers. I want to get a little char on them. Oh, yeah. So there we go. And for those of you who don't know how to roast or grill vegetables to get a nice char and skin, I just like to take the raw vegetable and simply put it right on the grill. No oil or anything like that, just let it just dry roast or dry grill, and it'll char that skin. So I'll throw that on there. The other thing I'm going to throw on is a little bit of pineapple. So the recipes that I'm kind of doing tonight are in the descriptions of this video. You can click on those links, you can kind of follow along, whatever you want to do, but this is the, I don't know which one this is. These are the chicken thighs. The agave chicken thighs or nectar chicken thighs. So they have some grilled pineapple in it. Pineapple is really susceptible to absorbing smoke and can get really, really smoky really easily. So if you're going to grill pineapple, you want to do it on a pretty clean grill. And I know I'm going to be doing some direct grilled chicken thighs in a little bit, so I'm going to grill these first. So I've just taken some whole pineapple, sliced it up. Again, it's just going to go dry on the grill, cast iron grate, direct heat, 425 degrees. We're just going to grill those. All right. While those are grilling, what should we do first? Oh, I want to get this chicken going. So chicken thighs. So we're going to do kind of a few things at the same time, and we'll come back around to all of them, I'm sure.
I need the sun to move in a different direction.
Okay, well...
I know.
The sun, do you want to put out the awning?
Sorry, everyone, about the glare.
You want to put the awning up?
No, I think it's okay.
Yeah.
We're going to have to live with it a little.
Nature.
We all need some sunshine in our lives today, so
yeah.
Rays of sunlight are good, right?
Yeah, I will never complain about the sun. I'm sorry if the picture is awesome. But that's okay. Hopefully the information counts. I don't know if that helps or not. But these are some chicken thighs. And you can buy them bone in, skin on, or you can buy them boneless, skinless. Really your preference. Usually if I'm doing like a stew or a chicken cacciatore or something where I'm braising the chicken or cooking it for a really long period of time, I'll usually get the skin on, bone in chicken thighs. Otherwise, I'll usually stick with boneless, skinless chicken thighs because they still have tons of fat in them and tons of flavor because they have a few different kinds of muscles going on there. So I've done a basic brine, and if you guys know me, love me, you know my brining techniques, and I'm sure there's a video somewhere on my brining technique. So basic brine on these chicken thighs, and then just a light seasoning with a little bit of meat church. This is the holy cow. And I'm going to do direct grill on this. So as soon as I pull that pineapple off, I'm actually going to throw this chicken on. I could technically grill it at the same time, but I'm actually going to generate a little bit of smoke with this direct grill, so I don't really want to mess with that right now. So another minute or so. I am going to add just a touch of oil to these chicken thighs. Now, I usually say you don't ever need to add oil, anything like that, but because I don't have the skin on, I do actually want to get a little bit of crispiness on this chicken, so I'm going to add maybe a teaspoon of oil, the most. That's it, okay? And then I want to just coat all that. Very, very light coating, not much at all. You don't want anything, if this sits for a minute, you don't want the oil to seep out. You don't want it to be sitting in a pool of oil, nothing like that. So really, really light amount of oil. All right.
What kind of oil are you using, Chef?
Good question. So you can use lots of different oil for that. We're using currently avocado oil because my wife bought a small stake in a company of avocado. No, that's not true at all. Just happened to.
I'm actually almost out of avocado oil.
Oh my gosh.
But it does have the highest splash point of all oils.
Which is useful when grilling. Oh, there it is. Can you hand me those tongs, please? Don't worry, you won't be on camera. You won't, I swear.
I'm not worried.
Yeah, I can tell. Thank you. All right. Ooh.
The people haven't demanded me to be on camera yet. So.
Not yet. So there we go. A little bit of grill marks. Also, of course, those of you watching, thank you. If you have any comments, you have any questions at all, please type them in. Let us know you're there. We'll be happy to answer any of those questions that you might have. All right, peppers are going. That pineapple is almost done, so throwing these thighs on. Now, important to note, you want to make sure that meat is nice and flat on your grill. You don't want it folded on top of each other or the pieces overlapping. You want all of that meat lying flat. You can see we start to immediately get a little bit of that smoke. And that's something that pineapple will immediately soak up. So it's not something I really want to mess with. tend to be a little more conservative with the pineapple, but I'm okay with those peppers. All right, so that'll all come together in a minute. I'm going to need some participation here because we've all been drinking and there's lots of stuff going on. So please, let's give it 4 minutes. Somebody set a timer. 4 minutes. I'm going to need to flip over those chicken breasts and or chicken thighs, excuse me. I'm going to need to flip them over because I'm doing a direct grill on there. So it's only going to take maybe 8 to 10 minutes total to get them exactly where we want them. While that chicken cooks, though, I need to get the sauce ready to go for that. So I'm going to take these roasted poblano peppers, grilled poblano peppers, and I'm going to chop them up. So we're going to do some pan sauce chicken or some pan chicken. So the first step is getting a little bit of char on that chicken, getting some texture, a little bit of smoke flavor. And we've got our pan. Little handy dandy tool. I'm sure you can't see that on camera, but there you go. Just a little chopper. So I just want to chop up these peppers pretty quickly. So I'll just pop the top off. Slide them open. Scrape out most of the seeds, but I'm not too worried about it. And then put the whole pepper in there. Some people will scrape all that skin off. I don't mind the skin. I like that texture a little bit. So that's a little bit of a personal preference for sure. Pop these off. The idea here is just some recipes that you can use, some basic ingredients. If you're following along on those recipes that we've shared at all, you're going to see I'm not following it exactly, just like most of you should be doing with any recipe you like. You see a recipe and you're like, oh, that's perfect. And then you do your own little twist on it. So I'll throw that in there. Hopefully I know how to work this. Lock it. Oh yeah. Perfect. So we're just going to chop it up. That's it. I just wanted to chop that up.
Those little choppers are handy. You can. I got those on Amazon.
Yeah. I'm sure there's some local stores.
Two containers with 2 blades.
Sure. All right.
Good for garlic, onions.
We've got the chopped poblanos. The other thing we have, so original recipe usually has some serrano pepper or hot pepper. We have a little bit of dried pepper here that these are peppers that we've grown in years past, and then we've put them in the food dehydrator and preserved them. So these happen to be some Trinidad scorpions. Ooh, yeah, they're spicy. So we're not going to need a lot of this at all. I'm just going to take...
Oh, chef.
Maybe...
That's hot.
Yeah, I'll be okay. That's like a quarter. It'll be all right. Totally fine. And then we will take our sweetener, which is our nectar. You can use agave, you can use coconut nectar. Oftentimes you have bottles of this from maybe old baking projects or something. You really don't know what to use it for. So a little bit of that pepper, a little bit of that sweetener, some hot pepper. Get this out of the way. You see that cutting board okay? Mm-hmm. Yeah? All right. Take our grilled pineapple. And we're going to put that in as well. How long has it been?
4 minutes.
Sweet. It's almost like that's built into my head. You can smell it a little bit. What I'm going for here is, a little bit of char. I want to get a little bit of color on that chicken. And then one thing to also notice is around the edges will turn white, and then should pull away from your cooking surface pretty readily. You shouldn't have to do a whole bunch of scraping of the grill or anything like that. If it doesn't pull away readily, you might have had too much sugar on whatever you had. Maybe the rub had too much sugar in it, or you tried to coat it in sugar and it all kind of caramelized and burned a little bit. Or it's just not ready to be flipped. It's not ready to be flipped over. So it's got some moisture in it, it's dripping with some juices, but there you go. Some grill marks. So we'll flip that over. And then we're just going to get a little bit of char on that other side. And then they'll be ready for our pan chicken, which is all that. So we're going to throw the chicken in with all of this. We'll mix it up. And we'll throw it back on the grill and just let it kind of cook and simmer. And all those juices from the roasted peppers and from the pineapple and from the agave will intermingle with the char of the chicken. And we should get some pretty decent flavor. At least that's what they tell me sometimes. All right. Chicken thighs. I need to make some sauce. I need to make some chicken wing. How do I want to do that?
Some special sauce.
Yeah.
If I were good at the music, then I'd put some G-Love and special sauce on it.
That would be spectacular, but we're not quite there.
We're at that right age of we're young, but we're also too old.
Yeah, I don't think that's what the young people would say. I think they would say that we're old.
Do you?
Yeah.
We're Gen Xers, baby.
Yeah.
We're the forgotten generation.
Oops. Something like that. Woo! Excuse me. It's my first time using one of these.
They're getting you flustered?
Yeah, I don't know how to use one of these. It's all... Oh, there it is. Got it.
Well, that's fancy.
Isn't it? Little portable burner. So we're going to make a little garlic pepper sauce. So that's a mixture of hot sauce and Worcestershire. I'm not going to use all of it. Use some of it though. And then this is a mixture of garlic and pepper.
Garlic or garlic powder?
Garlic powder. You can use fresh garlic if you want, but most of us have some garlic powder in our pantry still, so that's good. Woo! We want to warm this up a little bit.
Why do we want to warm it up?
Because we're going to cook an egg yolk and a little bit of cornstarch slurry. Sorry, I'm off camera for a second. I'm grabbing my egg yolk.
What does the egg yolk and cornstarch slurry do for us?
Woo! We're going to thicken up this and turn it into a sauce.
That's a little sloppy, chef.
Wasn't it?
Mm-hmm. Sometimes you're sloppy at home. It happens.
It happens sometimes.
You know? Home chefs, a little sloppy, a little dirty, a little messy. I'm covered in flour right now for my egg noodle making.
Well, that's not mine. That's not my fault.
No, I'm just trying to reassure your viewers that
it happens.
It happens.
People make messes.
People make messes.
All right. And then the cornstarch slurry. So this is important to remember. You just want to do equal parts of your cornstarch to water and just dissolve it first, and then add it to your warm liquid so that it will thicken. So we'll take a... that's too much. It's too much. See how scientific that is? Just get right in there. Make sure you dissolve it all. Get right in there. You don't want any clumps, otherwise it won't dissolve in the sauce. Ooh, yeah. So now that's simmering. As soon as that comes to a simmer, add the slurry. And then it'll thicken pretty quickly. The reason why we want this thick is because as soon as we pour it over the top of those chicken wings, that's what this this sauce is for, by the way. As soon as we pour it over the top of those chicken wings, those hot chicken wings, it's we want it to really kind of stick to it and hold to it. So, all right, turn this to a simmer. Let's pull those chicken thighs off, or take them to the next step. There it is. Nope. There it is. All right. Oh yeah. So I'll take these chicken thighs, which they are at this point 99% cooked, if not almost there. So if you wanted to, you could go slightly under for sure. You know what you're saying? Go under on chicken. We're going to continue to cook this a little bit. And also, the biggest mistake a lot of people make when they cook chicken is they overcook it in kind of the fear that they're going to undercook it. So, woo, hot. Woo! So, don't be afraid to undercook it a little bit. Because once you let it rest, you cut into it, you'll see it's probably a lot closer to being fully cooked than you really thought it was, if not fully cooked. So, I'm just going to mix these up. Mix this all together. We're going to start getting juices from everything. And I'm simply going to throw this back on the grill. We're direct heat, so I'm just going to use the residual heat here. I don't really have anything else direct left to grill, or if I want to do some more grilling later, I can always kick these vents open, and it's going to kick right up, which I'll show you guys in a little bit, because that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to just kill that heat a little bit so it doesn't burn it, and it's just going to kind of bake it and steam it, and we'll have this nice pan chicken.
How do you kill the heat, chef?
Just close the vents, top and bottom.
Close the vents?
Just like, did I do that
So
or just say
easy?
it?
I don't know.
No,
I'm
I
just
did.
asking.
I did it. Right. Sometimes,
It's like you're a professional or something.
Yeah. Sometimes you think you do something because you've done it so often, like, I don't know, lock the front door, and you're like, I know I locked the front door. I always lock the front door. Guess what? Did not.
And you don't want your thermometer to turn because you forgot to turn your vents, and then it looks like you're at 200 degrees and you're really at 900 degrees. That'd be bad.
Bad things can happen.
Bad things can happen.
All right. So we have the sauce for our chicken wings. Let's talk ground chicken. I promise we're going to get to these chicken wings. All right, we'll get to the chicken wings. You talk me into it. You guys. Gosh, you're so pushy.
I'm not bossy.
But I'm not done with these.
I'm assertive.
I'm not done with these. But man, they're close. Oh, yeah. Yep. All right. You know what? I'm going to make you guys wait. You see, oh, yeah. Can they see that? Can you see that? Right there?
They can see it.
Yeah. So we're going to try not to lose that.
Now you have the what kind of a wing do you have there?
What kind of a wing is that?
What kind of a wing is that?
That's a chicken wing.
Chicken wing.
Yeah. This is what we would call
This is not a drummy.
Well, this is so... Thank you for that lead-in. It's perfect lead-in. So this is the anatomy of a chicken wing. So I'm just going to flip these over. These are not quite exactly... Oh, yeah. Exactly where I want them to be at. But they're so close. Plenty of time for me to come back to them. All right. Let's talk the anatomy of a chicken wing. Let's talk ground chicken first. Do not let me forget the anatomy of a chicken wing. All right?
Okay.
But ground chicken. So if you're ever looking for it, you haven't noticed it, it's usually right where the ground turkey. You can find the ground turkey. Sometimes you can find it with ground, kind of the niche ground meat section. But there's always ground chicken. So we're going to do our version of fried chicken, in a burger format using waffles. And it's a really nice kind of spicy, sweet, savory thing going on. So if you're using just chicken by itself, you need some sort of binder. So if you're not going to use any other sort of meat with fat because you just want the chicken, you need I'm using some egg and some breadcrumbs. So egg and breadcrumbs, ground chicken. And then the spices, salt and pepper. And then these are your, 11 herbs and spices, or your traditional spices for what you would usually use if you're seasoning, like doing fried chicken. So that buttermilk flour kind of seasoning and that breading would have this ground rosemary and thyme, a little bit of cayenne, paprika, onion powder, garlic powder, all that good stuff. So we'll mix that in with the ground, and then we're just going to combine all of this. Now, I always tell people when you're grilling something, you need to understand what it's going to do when you're grilling it so that you can know how to grill it. So, for instance, if I have a beautiful piece of cod, well, I know that once cod is fully cooked, it gets really, really flaky and delicate. So maybe I don't want to do a direct grill on that cod that requires me to actually handle it a whole bunch. And I take that same thinking to something like a chicken patty, something that it will hold together and it has texture, but I don't really want to mess with trying to flip all these or any of that. Partially because I'm lazy, but you could. If you wanted to, you could do a direct grill. You could throw these right on the grill and cook them up. We're going to roast them so that we don't have to flip them or manhandle them. We can just put them on the grill, let them roast, and they're good to go. So this just with the seasoning and spices on its own, will taste a lot like fried chicken. So it's a fun flavor. All right. I'm going to throw those on the grill because I want them to cook.
Well, I don't think you have to throw them.
Okay, fine.
You can just place them on there gently.
I'll place them on the grill gently.
Place them on there gently.
Okay.
You don't have to abuse the chicken patties that we're all about to eat. Right?
Yes, that's true. All right. I'm going to take these wings, put them in this bowl, and we'll talk chicken wings. These chicken wings are extremely edible right now. Very delicious, but not the final flavor that we want, so we'll get to that final flavor. Some more of the chicken patties. All right, and because this grill's indirect, 350 degrees, by the way, indirect 350 degrees. I do have a drip pan under there as well, no water or anything. So I'm just going to let those bake. And those are only going to take probably 10, 15 minutes, something like that. At the same time, let's talk chicken wings.
Do you need your chicken wings?
No, we can let those rest. I'm going to show you some raw chicken wings first. The anatomy of chicken wing. So chicken wing has three joints to it.
And just for people who might want to enter a chicken wing eating contest, this would be very helpful information, right?
Yes, I will show you the proper and only way to eat a chicken wing. I mean, there's not a lot of rules when it comes to food and recipes and cooking technique, but how to eat a chicken wing is one of them. So first, let's explore the anatomy of a chicken wing. Chicken wing has three distinct joints. First joint, second joint, third joint. So, number one,
commonly called the
drummy.
The drummy.
Number two, commonly called. Come on, you don't know that answer.
I don't like chicken wings, so.
So that's a flat. So drums and flats. This is the flat part of the chicken.
Makes sense.
This is like the mini drumstick.
Flat, right? Mm-hmm.
And then the third joint.
The stock making joint.
It's the flapper.
Ah.
Okay, or the tip.
The flapper, or the tip.
Yeah.
not the stock making.
Well, so commonly used, yes, because once you cook these, they just either burn up on you or there's just not much there. So you would normally just cut these off and then use the first and second jar.
So if you were having a chicken wing eating contest, which
Ooh, geez.
whoa,
Geez, sorry about that. It's my first day handling chicken wings.
which piece would you commonly serve?
Well,
just in a wing eating contest.
I don't know how it goes in wing eating contests. I've never subjected myself to that. So that just pops out, and then this joint too as well. You can just pop it out as well, and then cut the skin. So if you wanted to mess with, yeah, there it is. Sorry. If you wanted to mess with, so your drummy, flat.
Darth Max got you covered. Got me covered here.
Yep.
He knows all about the flat.
Okay, so those are the three. If you want to cut them up and treat them as separate chicken wings, that's fine. Season them all, cook them all. It's just that many more pieces you have to manhandle and that much more effort. But for parties and things like that, that makes the most sense. If you're just trying to shove some chicken wings down a teenager's gullet, they'll eat both of them at the same time. So not necessary. But we're going to get to the eating part first. First step, identify your chicken wings. Second step, prepare your chicken wings. So one of the drawbacks of a Kamado-style grill is that the air is so moist that it actually has trouble kind of crisping up the skin. So you need to treat that skin-on piece of meat so that the skin will crisp up. So we treat it with, and then the recipe calls for rice flour, which is awesome. Rice flour is really, really refined, and it sucks a lot of the moisture out, and it crisps up really well. Potato starch will do effectively the same thing. So we'll take our chicken wings, put them in a brine, basic brine, pull them out of the brine, pat them dry, and then toss them with potato starch until they're lightly coated with that layer of potato starch. And then we'll let them sit uncovered in the refrigerator for, I don't know, half a day, overnight. We really want all that moisture in the chicken wing skin to be evaporated and be pulled out. So when we introduce it to heat, all the moisture in the meat stays inside and the skin gets nice and crispy. And I think that's what we've accomplished here. And that's what you've seen with these chicken wings. So may I have those chicken wings, please?
Sure.
Thank you.
Is there a basic brine recipe on your website?
I know there is.
That's handy.
Absolutely. All right. So we've got a nice texture on these. They were just seasoned with a little bit of pepper, but the potato starch is the only thing on these. And this is where we want to introduce the flavor. And I want to show you here's a perfect example of, here it is, where the flapper will sometimes even just kind of burn off altogether. All right, let's see hold on. Can you hear it? Crunchy. That's what we want. Okay. So we're going to take those wings.
At what point, once you put them in the refrigerator for half a day, 24 hours,
Yeah.
then do you season them, or do you season them before you...
Right. I season them right before I cook them. So
Right
yeah,
before you cook 'em.
just the potato starch, and then once they're ready to go on the grill, woo! It's spicy. Ugh. All right. So at this point, you can serve these bad boys. They're ready to eat. Or you can grill them, get a little bit more char. Yeah, I wouldn't totally recommend that. There's not necessarily a ton of sugar or anything in that. That's going to give you this like super awesome sticky glaze kind of a thing. So if anything, you can throw them back on your grill and just let them bake a little bit more if you want. And that would be perfectly fine. Which is what we're going to do while we finish up the rest of this chicken. Oh yeah, these are cooking up nicely. I'm actually going to move them.
But not flip them. You're not flipping them.
Nah, I don't need to. I mean, you could if you wanted to, but this is really in a bake kind of format, so it's It's not necessary.
Maximizing your big green egg.
Maybe. Yep.
Look at that.
It fits.
That's what she said.
Boom! She couldn't resist. Oh. Now we're surely going to get taken off. You're such a bad influence. All right. So chicken wings are almost there. I think they're going to be okay. Our pan chicken has been roasting away. I actually want to pull that off and let it rest. I want to open those vents back up because I have one last bit of grilling to do. So I'll open my vents back up. Woo! Oh yeah. That's right. That's right.
Oh, that smells divine.
So, pro tip. If you're not using your plate setter, you can always heat it up, pull it out of your grill, and use it as a plate warmer. If you're doing some sort of like service outside or anything like that. So, I just noticed that there and it popped in my head.
Here's another pro tip. You don't want to anger your wife. You'll have indoor and outdoor towels.
You do.
In addition to the indoor and the outdoor cast iron.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the commingling of worlds, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You see that towel that's in your hand?
You would think we would have two of everything.
Well, we do.
Yeah.
You just, you know.
I think your face should be on camera for those looks. I feel like the whole crowd is giving me the exact look that you're giving me as you speak to me. It just gives you. We're just gonna, redesign a little bit. Get some new plates and stuff.
No, you're right. You're gonna make the commitment to not yell at me when I buy new dish towels.
I can guarantee you that's not. Everyone raise their hand. Everyone who has lost their mind the last time they walked into a kitchen and saw a whole new set of dish towels. I think that poll is going to be pretty low. Put it on the poll. Oh, we don't have a poll.
We'll try a poll.
All right. Want me to give you some of this?
I'm just saying, respect
the dish towels.
Respect the dish towels.
Mm.
That looks fantastic, babe.
Mm. I think you're going to like the sweet, a little bit of that char flavor from the grill. Shouldn't technically need a knife for this. Shouldn't technically need a knife. Cut it the right way. Alright. Are you on camera for that?
Mm-mm. Oh,
You're gonna make a
that
mess.
looks good.
You're gonna make a mess.
Perfectly cooked chicken.
Woo!
That's hot. Boy, that is good.
Good texture. So,
And the flavor. I mean, if you
not too heavy on the pepper, but just that little dried pepper gives it. You got some heat there.
When we get back to entertaining, being able to have people over,
yeah,
that's a good dish. But this is also a good dish. If you make a bunch of this, you could very easily chop this up, put it in a burrito for the freezer.
Oh yeah.
I mean, this is a great versatility chicken dish.
Great filling, for sure.
It's a great filling.
Cilantro.
Some people think it tastes like soap. Some
Cilantro?
people can't live without it.
I think that's a scientific thing.
Is it?
I would have to ask a scientist. Oh, those chicken patties aren't far away.
You sure you don't want to flip those? Oh, there you go.
Feel better about that?
It's just the evenness factor. You know.
Both sides have been flipped?
Right.
Okay. Feel better?
Yeah, I do.
All right.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Everybody wants me to be on camera.
You are very popular, and with what you're wearing right now. Subscriber count. Direct heat. Waffles. So you're going to have these for a couple of reasons. You either have purchased frozen waffles because they're easy and cheap, or you've made waffles, and if you are going through the effort of making waffles, you should always make extra because you can actually freeze them and use them for other things. Or just use them the next day for another breakfast, or like us, use them at 10:30 at night because that's when dinner is now. So
we have a little family of restaurant people.
So
like in their blood. Night owls.
Nothing on the waffles, but directly over the fire. I just want to toast both sides. I want to get a little texture to those. I do want them to get a little crunchy, so I'm not too afraid about getting color on those. All right. Woo! You guys see that? You'll see it. First person to comment gets 1,000,000 fake points.
Heard. I'm tracking. So far, Cindy Vogel has a million fake points.
You did not see what I did. Only they saw what I did.
Right, because I was...
Because you were eating the
I was
food.
eating the
You were not
food.
looking at me. So, I'm not going to tell you what I did, but
I got
somebody
called
will
out.
tell you what I did.
I got called out.
No, you didn't get called out at all.
Mm-hmm.
All right, here we go. Oh, jeez. Just a little something. There it is. There we go. Oh, yeah. Now, those are just raging hot. So, to attempt to eat one of those right now would be borderline not smart move. Right?
They look delicious, though.
Thank you.
But you always want to rest your meat, right?
You do want it to rest just a little bit. Even a small thing like a chicken wing, you don't want to immediately just jump into it because bad things can happen. You can most likely burn yourself on something like that.
Well, you have definitely been called out on the chat about what you did.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Don't worry, no permanent scars. All the fight or flight reflexes are at their highest alerts. So that must be a combination of all of the alcohol and food. Yeah, that was awesome. It's a funny thing too, you know? Now it's time for our chicken and waffles. Oh, yeah. Woo! Just a little toast on these side. 30 seconds. Somebody keep track of that.
So the nice thing about doing the ground chicken on the chicken and waffles is if you want a sandwich, it really is a more controllable experience from a flavor profile versus trying to do a piece of fried chicken with the waffle and you're picking the chicken and then you're taking a bite of the waffle. This is a real sandwich experience.
It is, and you're not going to have to fry anything necessarily. You don't need a Dutch oven of oil. You don't need to heat up your house with the oil or anything like that. So
that's good. But the flavor
should be pretty close.
Right.
It's not going to be exact because we're not cooking it in oil.
Right.
But the spirit, the essence, we're going to get a lot of those similar herbs and spices. We're going to get that crunchy texture from the toasted waffle. And we're going to get a little bit of that sweet and savory. So let's do the sweet part. I'm going to throw together a little sauce for you guys. Simple. Quick question for you guys. Those of you watching. As I was playing around with this, and oftentimes in getting ready for classes or things like that, we cook in the kitchen to get our food ready to cook for you. And I'm hanging out of my house, so I pulled out a pan. This pan. This right here is maple syrup, by the way. Yeah, that'll be enough. That's just a little Teflon coated egg pan. Now, this is an egg pan that was gifted to me by one of my very first chefs when I was probably 16 years old. So that is a really, really old egg pan. I was thinking about how well it stood up and was still really usable. So that made me curious, what is the oldest piece of cooking equipment that you have in your kitchen that you're still currently using? And you can't, it's got to be like, it can't be something that's really gross and dirty either. You have to use it. So that warms up immediately. This is a little bit of gochujang. You could use sriracha. You could use any sort of hot sauce that you wanted. Just a little bit of spice to offset the sweetness from that maple. Oh, yeah. So that's what we're going for. Some toasted waffles. Woo! And of course, there's always a fine line between toasted and charred, right? But I'll take that as toasted waffles. Those are pretty nice. Now, what's a good toasted waffle without a little bit of butter? Right? Just a little bit of butter. While it's warm, we don't need a ton of it, but again, this is going to be like the ultimate kind of sweet, savory, and something that, I don't know, this is something we've thrown together at 9 in the morning and 9 at night. All right, a little bit of butter. Oh, geez. You missed it again.
Sorry.
Oh, she missed it again, you guys.
I'm watching the chat, you know, because people are making sure you don't burn the waffles over here.
Were they freaking out? I'm not nervous. You're nervous. So,
you know, I was also thinking about like essential. There are lots of non-necessary kitchen gadgets, but a silicone brush is sort of an essential kitchen. I mean, I use the silicone brush a lot.
Okay.
Don't you?
Yeah.
You use a brush a lot.
I use a brush a lot. Yeah.
Also, I'm ready for a chicken sandwich.
Okay. I'm ready to give you a chicken sandwich. So we've got our toasted waffles, a little bit of butter, a little bit of sweet pickle. These are actually a bread and butter pickle with some habanero infusion. So a little bit of that. And I'm going to grab the chicken. We should be ready. Oh, yeah. If you're really not sure, just be sure and temp this ground chicken. It should be 165. But you can see all kind of the herbs and spices. So it looks almost like a coated fried chicken. We've got our top waffle up. A little bit of our sriracha maple over the top. Some people will go with the arugula route. Some people will throw some sort of sauce or some sort. Just kind of a personal preference. We're going to just throw a little bit of chives. All right, I'm going to cut this in half and put it on a plate for you. put it on this plate for you.
Put the sauce on top.
Really?
That's for messy eating.
Huh?
You gotta flip that lid, baby.
The sauce is on the other side, too. It is for messy eating. It's the chicken and waffle sandwich.
Oh, that looks good.
Yeah. That means you have to eat it on camera. Want me to cut it into a bite for you?
Mm-hmm.
All right, you guys. So, some ground chicken recipe, a little bit of chicken thigh recipe, and some chicken wings. And I'm going to show you guys how to eat this chicken wing after I eat this.
That's good. Mm-hmm. The sweet and the savory.
Thanks for watching me eat.
You got all the spices of the fried chicken coating or skin.
All right. Last segment, you guys. And if I've given you no information up to this point that's not worth a small tip so I can support my team, hopefully this information is. So we'll take our chicken wing. And of course, we'll just get rid of this flapper here because there's nothing there. And this is all about the flat. So we'll get rid of this drummy here. And this is the flat. And this is a pretty good size flat. Okay? First thing you want to do is just remove this little bone here, because that little guy gets in the way. Once that bone is removed, the only thing left standing between you and that being consumed is faith. Drop where I go.
That's impressive.
So, hold on.
You-
Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Okay. So you gotta be willing to eat the whole thing, but that's the quickest way to eat the flapper. All right.
And that's your wing eating contest.
That's your wing eating contest. Pull out that little bone. Pull out the little bone.
Lollipops.
Lollipops. So, thank you guys very much for hanging out with us tonight. Talking chicken a little bit. Learning a few different recipes. If any of this, again, was of any value, I appreciate the tips, supporting the team, and look forward to you guys checking out the next live video. We're going to do some family cooking coming up, so check out those details. I think we're going to announce that menu tomorrow. I'm pretty excited because I get to see some friends I haven't seen through a glass window, so that'll be fun. So thank you guys so much. Appreciate your support, and we look forward to seeing you again. So be well, everybody.